about a newer certificate authority vulnerability you might not yet have heard of. Let's talk about exploiting ESC15 and how you can find this in your network and how to do this in just a few simple steps. So let's get into it. In order to exploit this vulnerability, you need to find a template with the client authentication set to false, and enrollee supplies subject set to true, template schema version set to 1, and then also having enrollment rights for authenticated users. Now, if you're following along with me in the lab here, you'll first need to get this specific version of Certipy by Druid Fufus. This version of Certipy allows you to exploit ESC15. And I noticed for troubleshooting errors, if you try to git clone it, you may run into some issues. It seems like it hasn't been completely updated yet. However, if you do download it as a zip file and then try to create that virtual environment through pip and then pip install it, you should be just fine. Let's move on to the actual exploitation part. This is pretty much the standard request that you get for any other ESC, but the biggest difference here is that we are specifying the UPN, so whatever user that we want to impersonate across the domain, and most importantly, the application policies. This will be the new argument that you won't get in this standard Certipy build. So with this application policies, we'll specify client authentication, and we're smuggling this EKU into this template, which is web server in this case, into that template, and this will then allow us to retrieve a PFX file for our impersonated user. So let's go ahead and run this command and see the output. And in just a few moments, we got the PFX file for our enterprise admin. We can then use that PFX file to then authenticate back to the DC to get our TGT file for that user account. If you haven't had a chance to play around with this in your environment, go ahead and give it a shot. Let me know what you think and follow for more.